Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow feelings of tension or stress to leave your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, just get a sense that on the inward breath, useful, powerful, resourceful feelings are going in, and as you exhale, anything no longer needed right now, feelings of stress, feelings of tension, feelings of worry, just get a sense that they're leaving your body in your outward breath. And therefore, in each and every breath, you're able to go deeper and deeper. Relaxed. Now. That's right. I want you to get a sense that as you breathe in and breathe out, notice where tension is in your body and notice that you can release it simply by allowing yourself to let go. So if you notice there's tension around your forehead or eyes, breathe in that resourceful feeling of relaxation, and then on the outward breath, just say to yourself, I'm letting go now. And as you do so on that outward breath, feel that tension release, and then perhaps notice somewhere else where tension may exist. Maybe your neck, your shoulders, your jaw, and again, breathe in that resourceful feeling of relaxation and exhale, releasing that tension, letting go of that tension. Now. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to harness the power of your imagination to recall a time from your childhood. I want you to recall the happiest, earliest memory that you can recall. Perhaps you can imagine your childhood house, maybe a room that you used to play in. And if you can recall a time from your past where you were happily playing, perhaps the earliest time that you can recall a happy memory from your childhood, just let me know by nodding your head. And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that your physical body now is being surrounded by a bubble. This bubble can lift you up, and it can move you through space and time. And I want you to imagine that that bubble is taking you all the way back to that moment. The bubble enables you to see anything through the bubble, but almost like two-way glass. You are invisible in the bubble. And what I want you to do is I want you to travel back to that point in time, perhaps even to the very same room where you can see yourself looking so young and looking happy there as a child. And I want you to imagine what you would have looked like back then if you were a similar age but maybe just 1 or 2 years older. You are still your age inside the bubble, but when you leave the bubble, I want you to imagine that you're always 1 or 2 years older than the version of you that you see back then. I want you to leave the bubble so that you now feel like you're just 1 or 2 years older than you were back then, but with all the knowledge, all the resources, all the experience that you have as a full-grown adult, just in the body of someone that looks just like a year or two older than you were back then. to say hello to that younger version of you. And I want you to do what you would do if you were making friends with someone that was that age when you see yourself. Maybe ask about things that they're interested in, like, what are you playing with? Maybe complimenting them on their toys or what they're wearing or how their hair is. Just imagine that younger version of you asking who you are and coming up with a nickname that you call yourself. And introduce yourself as an older sister. And if you can imagine that, just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to play with that child, knowing what is yet to come for this child. And I want you to imagine that you're going to give her some advice. Advice that you didn't receive when you were that age, but would have been so helpful for you. What words did you need to hear back then that would have helped you prepare for all those moments of shame and loneliness that was to come? And give her that advice in a friendly way. And tell this younger version of you that you can't be there all the time. So therefore, these words are designed to help her no matter where she is and whether you're there or not. And if you know what she needs to hear, then tell her those words. Tell her that she's valuable, worthy, important, and that you will always be there nearby. When she hears your words, I want you to give her a hug. Tell her that you will drop by every now and then, see how she's getting on. But tell her that whether you are there or not, she is loved, she is valuable, she is important, and that she has the resources to cope with so much more than she realizes. And then say goodbye. And as you say goodbye, climb back into the bubble and look at her surprised face as it just seems like you've disappeared. And then I want you to go into that bubble and go back in time to a significant moment in your dad's life. Maybe a moment that you know about, or maybe something that you don't know about but is highly likely. Maybe a moment of trauma that just helps you to explain some of why he did what he did. You can go back years and years to a time even before you were born, or maybe something else. And that doesn't mean you approve of the choices he made, but the purpose of observing a moment from his past is just to understand. Because sometimes understanding helps to release feelings of shame, anger. It doesn't make these things right. It just gives you an insight in terms of maybe you know why. You don't have to do anything. Just observe. Observe that sometimes bad things happen to good people, and that in our own strange way, all humans have unique ways of coping with things. And who knows, maybe something happened that meant that his way of coping is the same as how many other people learn to cope. Drink, drugs and food is how most people cope with problems, and maybe what happened to him even before you were born led down a pathway of a coping mechanism where his priority was to shut off pain or screen out thoughts, and the ripple effect of that was that he put things in what may seem to be a strange order of priority, and then climb back into that bubble and go to a moment, perhaps in your mum's life, maybe a significant moment that just helps to explain why she did what she did. And even if you don't know what could have been the cause, just allow your unconscious mind to speculate. Maybe she had a tough childhood. Maybe things happened that she didn't choose, she didn't want, but left her feeling a certain way. Or maybe not. But observe a moment in her life that just helps you to understand that what happened to you as a child was not your fault. You are not to blame. And therefore notice that even in the present, any feeling of embarrassment or shame starts to melt away. Children don't choose what happens to them. Things are quite often a cause and effect relationship of variables that you will never even know. And then allow that bubble to move forwards in time, to a time perhaps on an evening in Halloween. Go forwards in time until you can see yourself sitting in the back seat of a car. Maybe you were dressed up in a Halloween outfit, or maybe not. But observe that version of you was looking out of the window, maybe seeing other children your age, knocking on doors, carrying around buckets, collecting candy. Allow the bubble to enter the car and then leave the bubble so that you are now in the back seat of that same car. If the younger version of you is wearing a Halloween outfit, then allow you to wear a Halloween outfit. But remember, you're still just 1 or 2 years older. And look at that smiley face that you see when she notices that you're in the car with her. Now maybe she's been there for a few minutes or maybe longer, but you're now going to give her the company that you didn't have back then. I want you to grab her by the hand and tell her that you're going to take her trick-or-treating. And for 2 or 3 hours, I want you to give her the experience that you didn't have back then. Knock on doors. Look at the other children dressed up. But I want you to imagine that it's not just candy that you're collecting from these doors. Each candy represents powerful resources, confidence, self-esteem, inner strength. You're no longer knocking on doors for candy, you're knocking on doors for something way more powerful. The resources that will help this younger version of you get through her childhood in a positive way. And maybe after 2 or even 3 hours, return to the car and just enjoy eating that candy there with your younger sister, sharing in these moments, making her feel valued. Laugh and joke, give her hugs, play little games, eat that candy, and realize that for both of you, you're not just eating the candy, you're extracting the resources inside that candy, feeling more confident, boosting that self-esteem, getting a sense that you're getting stronger, more resilient. And one of those candies contains something really powerful. Personal pride. Being proud of who you are and what you are. Everything about you. Maybe the things that made you different. Having that candy bar of personal pride, you now see it as uniqueness and beauty. And as you have that, notice that you're giving that gift to a younger version of yourself, but you're feeling it within as it ripples through time and gives you that incredible feeling of being valued and valuable. And again, give that child advice that you now know but you didn't know back then, that will help that child throughout the years that come, because you know what happens next. Notice how much this little girl respects you and your wisdom and your knowledge, what many people would call an old soul. It looks like you're just a year or two older than her, but she gets a sense of just how much wisdom you have. That you care for her, you value her, you're important to her. And that's why she treats your words so carefully and will think about them time and time again throughout that childhood. And then tell her you need to go. Climb back in your bubble and just wait outside the car just long enough till maybe you see your parents returning to the car. But notice the expression of that little girl. Doesn't she seem stronger, more confident, able to handle so much more of what life throws her way? And you leave knowing that you've altered the trajectory of this little girl's life. Just 2 or 3 hours of trick-or-treating has changed her direction. That increase in confidence and self-esteem and personal pride will ripple throughout her entire life. As you then climb back in that bubble and go forward in time to a moment perhaps when you were in middle school, maybe just 12 years old. And I want you to revisit a time when that younger version of you was maybe feeling sadness and shame, maybe even disgust. Maybe there she is alone in her bedroom, and then suddenly, maybe years after you last saw her at Halloween, you're then back in the room, leaving your bubble and seeing her, and notice again her sad, unhappy face transform immediately into a big smile. Give her a hug, that's what she needs right now. And I want you to tell her what you wanted to hear back then. Tell her that she's valuable, she's important, She's pretty, beautiful, intelligent and capable. I want you to ask how she's getting on, what problems she's facing right now. Be that friendly big sister that you never had as a child. If you can help, help. But the way in which you're going to help is to give her something that is way more valuable than just advice. You're going to give her a specific resource. A resource that you now have as an adult that you didn't have back then as a child. Maybe it's perspective. Maybe it's strength. Maybe it's something else. Imagine that this resource that you're giving her, you visualize it as a glowing ball of energy. As you hand it to her, seeing that smile, see her take that glowing ball of energy and take it from you and place it on her heart, her chest, and she's absorbing that resource. Whatever resource you have now in abundance that would have helped you back then, that's what you're giving to this younger version of you. But she's also going to give you a resource. Something that you had as a child that you're missing right now in adulthood. You may not even know what it is, but she does. And maybe tough times create strong people. She then gives you a glowing ball of energy that represents a powerful resource that you had back then, and maybe that was creativity or imagination. All that time alone needed high levels of playfulness and imagination to create your own world. Or maybe it's something else. But she's giving you something you need, and you've given her something that she needed. And then tell her that she's got this. You know what happens later in her life. How capable this girl becomes as she turns into a woman. Her ability to handle adversity, solve problems, be so capable, so self-sufficient, become a mother, a partner. And therefore you can tell her with absolute reassurance that eventually things will be okay. Isn't that what you needed to know back then? All those times you felt hopeless. You needed to know that eventually things would work out okay. And as an adult, seeing this child, you know that to be true. By the way, things don't need to be perfect for things to be good. And all those things that you're grateful for now in the present exist in the future of this child. And therefore you can say with confidence and assertion that things get better. That she has the resources to cope and will cope. And then give her a hug as it's time to leave. And then you say goodbye and climb back in your bubble with the sense that these moments of intervention that you've had in her childhood will have a ripple effect that you can't foresee right now. Just one powerful word of encouragement at the right time can change someone's destiny. And therefore, this younger version of you has had so much of that positivity, resourcefulness, and love that you needed back then that you've given to her, and that will ripple throughout time all the way up to your present. And then allow that bubble to float all the way back in time, forward in time, seeing the impact of those ripples throughout time all the way to your present. And then imagine leaving the bubble and stepping back in your own body, feeling a sense of pride at just how capable you were as a young girl, how much you had to deal with, and you did. I want you to feel the resource that she gave you deep inside you right now, but also feel the resources that she was given in her childhood by you ripple throughout time so you still feel them even now. Getting a sense that your life is constantly evolving and will evolve into even more powerful and positive directions. Back then you were more capable than you ever knew, and that is also true now. You are more capable. But sometimes you need to give yourself a break. You don't have to carry all the pressure, all the responsibility. Every now and then, just give yourself permission to just be. And if you accept that to be true, and that these ripples throughout time will have a positive impact in your life, just let me know by nodding your head. And very soon, I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. But first, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're back in your body right now. I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. When you awaken, you will awaken feeling resourceful, feeling empowered, feeling great elements of personal pride and accomplishment, realizing that even though what happened in your childhood wasn't right, there is a silver lining to that cloud that is positive. You're capable, you're strong. And also, you've become the type of mother that you wished you would have had when you were a child. And that is a direct consequence of the childhood you experienced. You will awaken feeling resourceful, optimistic, eager to continue to take your life in powerful, positive directions, and continuing to be a positive role model for your children and yourself. And then let's count from 1 to 10 now to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake. Wide awake, wide awake.